done. You can see it, right? It will record the audio as well. Okay, this is the guy who records the audio. So what we're gonna do is like we're gonna use simply one tool called Photoshop for editing the pictures, and another tool for bulk modifying it. I'll show you both the tools because that's what it covers. But last time we edited night photography, so we need to use different skill set for it. Okay, this time we are doing the human editing. Okay. 2 times before we were doing nature photography, editing a plant or something. Okay, so all recorded all the sessions, put it on YouTube on my channel, so you can just go and check it whenever you're free. Okay, so let me open this picture. Now let me just open this. Is already edited picture. It's a JPEG picture, but still I need to edit a little bit of this scars and other stuff. So this is pretty common when you go for any people's face. So I'm just opening with Photoshop. When you want to edit so intense, you need to open it with Photoshop. When you have a very light editing to be done, like color corrections and all those things, you can work with Lightroom itself. Okay, so this is the picture. So Photoshop comes with this default tool. So everything has a shortcut to it. Okay, shortcut is right on your keyboard, but most of the time we'll be using mouse for better control. So when you go for really advanced Photoshop, you might even buy a pen tool where you can draw any things like that, which your creativity demands. So you can see that it's a pretty nice picture, except for her face, as in like the scars and all this other stuff, which is making it a mess. So we have the tools from the left side and then options on the right side, and the tools option is on the top. Okay, and you have multiple settings on the top as well, like different settings. Okay, but basically recently used tools, or probably very frequently used tools, are over here on the left side. Okay, so this is the selection of move tool. So basically you can drag and drop a selected area in a different location. Okay, that's why we use this tool for. We also use this tool to get over something. So if I wanna move around, I've made some selection. Okay, I wanna move it around it, or if I put some text over here. Okay, and I type something. Okay, so I want to move this thing around. I cannot use with the text panel. I have to go to the move panel, and then I can just take it somewhere. I mean, it's not written anything. So I have to
color.
Yeah. It's locked. That's why. Let me try it again. So let me explain you again. Just let me try it again. I think the size could have been a problem. See, with 200, right, won't show you only. See, that's the problem. The size was really high. 200 means this went out of this box. Okay, that's why it was having. So I've written this, right? I want to move this around. I cannot do that. So it selects this one and then I move it around wherever you want. You can create signatures like these also. This is not the best way of creating signatures, but this is one way of creating signatures. Okay, so like this. But I want to delete it. You can just delete this one, or else you can delete this layer. Okay, everything which forms in Photoshop forms with a layer concept. Layer, as in like, what is layer? Layer is basically like this is your fab copy. You wanna do a fab copy on this one. Okay, this is your actual copy. Okay, now when you modify something on this copy. When you write something on this copy, it means like you are modifying it on the actual piece of evidence. Okay, so what we do is like normally we don't do that. We put another layer on top of it. We modify it there. Okay, and when you don't like the modification, you just remove the layer, throw it in the dustbin. Okay, or remove partially in the layer. Okay, so that's what we normally do. Every time we create a new modification, we put it on top of a layer. So we create a layer, we put it on top of it. Okay, that's how we do it. Okay, so you can create multiple layers over here. This is the See that? I can select multiple layers. You can also see a specific layer. If you disable it, you will not be able to see that layer. Okay, so that's something which is default. And also you can do multi-select of all the layers and then drag it to the dustbin. Okay, you can also lock the layer. Locking is basically like making sure that no one configures this layer. You cannot touch this layer. Okay, so that's basically for locking it. And you can also give transparency to this layer also. Okay, opacity is what it is, and then you can fill with a specific color. So basically that's what it is. Okay, and also you can make it dark and light and dissolve so different stuff to this layer, so that basically when you are seeing the other layer, right, this layer will be like much like a transparent layer. So if you have two of this similar layer and you want one to have a darkened shade and one to have a lightened shade, so that both those things come across. Sometimes we need it. So in that terms we modify all these things. Okay, so you have history also here. Normally history will be separate bar over here, but I've dragged it inside this. Paths, history, channels, which I'll tell you what it is later. Basically history is very useful in terms of going back to your previous changes, whatever you have done. So we use the history for that. Okay. And then adjustment tools basically like brightness, contrast. This is for JPEG. For NER files or raw files, we have a different layer itself in Photoshop, which will come later. But as of now, the JPEG file, these are the things you can. Okay, so you can select on a specific tool. You can brighten the picture, darken it. Okay, likewise you can do it. Okay, so this is like selection tools basically for selecting a particular area. Okay, and you can do things to this area. Okay, this is like a shape-based selection tool. Okay, this is like a square selection tool. Okay, you want a lasso selection tool, you can also do that. Whenever you select something, you need to deselect it. Okay, see that how I'm selecting this. Okay, so basically this is lasso selection. It will basically cut that place if you control X, but you will not be doing anything on this because this layer is locked. Okay, so whenever you select something, right, you need to have to right click and deselect. Okay, if you don't do that, then obviously that thing will be selected. And if you select this tool and you go to another tool, right, you will not be able to deselect it. Okay, you have to come back to the same tool again, right click, deselect. Okay, you have understood why we select it. For example, I want to remove only this location, like add something to it, so I just go there. This is the reason for selecting. You understand? Okay, to modify a place in that picture, that's why we select. Okay, either to cut that location or transfer this location to the other layer. So these are the other functionalities you can do with this layer, selection tools. Okay, so normally what we do is like we just go back. We use the Alt key to zoom in, zoom out. The zoom in, zoom out key is over here, but you need to select it and then press it. So horrible. So what we do is like we hold Alt and then zoom in, zoom out. We hold Control for moving picture around. It's just the move tool. You get to move tool directly just by using. And that's basically the tool. Okay, we use on Alt and Control. It's two tools we use on the keyboard very frequently. And this is quick selection. You can use W. If you have any other tool, if you want to go to quick selection, you can do W. Okay, so basically the shortcuts is given to you here.
W is what?
C is a C for crop tool. Okay, and then W for quick selection tool. Okay, so like that. Okay, so you can just see that. So whatever you've selected as default will come. So if I've selected this one as default, if I'm going somewhere else and press W, it will get to the magic border tool. What is the difference between quick select tool? Quick select tool gives you a place, location where you can select it. It will select the similar objects. It's like it uses the magnets to select. It came from this magnet lasso tool. If you see magnet lasso tool, it basically uses magnet. You see that? I'm not doing it, I'm going haywire, but it is using magnets to track the subject. Okay, it is not able to track because it's all black, black, black. You notice? But the moment I get to that color, right, it's able to track it.
Yeah.
Okay? So this is called magnetic selection tool. Okay? So just deselect it. Okay, it came from that this quick selection tool. Quick selection tool, gets you to that. So see, this area is not selected because everything is black. So it's your responsibility that you hold Alt, it becomes minus. You leave Alt, it becomes plus. You hold it, it becomes minus. So minus is to reduce the space, plus is to include it. So I'm just going only to her face. Okay, I'm selecting the stuff. Photoshop supposed to be pretty slow, okay, because see, this is running on i7 processor, which has like it has a NVIDIA 980 Ti graphic card. You see how hung it is right now. It has 12 GB of RAM.
Oh.
Okay, so please
12 GB RAM?
Yeah,
Still
12
so
GB.
slow?
Yes, that's Photoshop for you. Okay, so this is basically what it is. Okay, you're able to select this picture, and this is the detail. So just normally whenever I blur the face, because for faster method of correcting the spots is blurring the face. When I blur the face, I leave out the I don't touch the lips and the eyes for girls. For guys, it's just the eyes, not lips. Okay, so for guys, it is that way. So I go to filter, blur. I go to filter, blur. See, I'm trying to do this on this layer. I was not able to do. See that? It was not giving me options. So I have to go on this layer, and then I need to do this blur on that. Okay. So I do surface blur. Now you can see that this is how the skin was, and it will be like this now. Okay, so you can also increase the threshold of the blurriness. Okay, but I normally keep it at 8. Okay, even you can reduce it also. You can start seeing spots. Do you see the spots? So more the blurriness, the more the spots will be easy for us to heal. Okay, so now I've done that, and then I'm deselecting it. Now I use this healing brush. This is called spot healing brush to heal that area. What it will do is like it basically makes the same stuff. Oh God, same same kind of a background. It gives the same kind of a background completely. Okay, so it merges with the existing layer next to it. See, it's not that great. Okay, but it's getting better. Yeah? Simple but effective. Make sure your monitor is clean, because if your monitor is not clean, right, you won't feel like something is there, it's not going. Okay, so I'm just saving the file now. Okay, it's done. So this file is done, this file is saved, it's all perfect. So let me go to the next one. Okay, so these are some of the pictures we edited here. This is the one I posted, remember, on the page. These are some of the edited files. This also we edited a little bit. Here also we did a little bit of editing. I'll tell you this. Let me go back.
Is there any network issue here?
Network? Yeah, Airtel. Use Airtel?
Sorry?
If you use Airtel?
No, I use Vodafone and Jio.
They don't come here, only Airtel comes. start for this. You can also, what you can do is like you can leave it like this, only select her and give her brightness. Okay, instead of giving the entire area brightness, only you can give it specifically to her. So for selection, again you have to go to quick selection tool and then select only her. Okay, you can make the selection tool bigger also, like if you want. Say it's like it's not doing a good job, right? So what you can do is like go to the go to the photo when it's open, and then you can press this open brackets to close brackets to make it wider. So this is how it is. You can make it smaller by using the open brackets. So both the things you can use to do that. So when I'm coming to her face, I'm using the small one. When I'm coming to her dress, I'm going for a big one. I'm selecting. So the entire dress gets selected. Okay. Do not worry about the places, because you hold Alt and then you're gonna remove it. Okay, so here is some tricky stuff. So you can reduce it a bit, and then you can just go over the dress. Okay, like this. Right. Oops, reduce it. And then you can go to the top and do the same thing. Okay, so now you got her on the picture. So you can only increase or decrease the subject, this particular place. You got it? So she is highlighted here. Just go over to the left and select the tool and then blur off a little bit of her place. Already she looks a bit blurred, but that's fine. This is JPEG, so we cannot expect too much from JPEG. The details are not there. That's fine. So what I'm gonna do is like I'm gonna select this place and do the same blur, surface blur. So it's already selected, you don't have to do it. It's already selected, so I'm just clicking on that and it has done the blurring. Okay, now deselected and I go for the spot healing brush, and then I'm just gonna, it's not applying on our face, so I have to select the background and then apply it on that. Okay, you understand the difference, right? What happens when you do that way? See this, if I do it, I'm just going too small, okay? So you can see that there's no difference. So sometimes you just need to modify the size and height of the tool to get some details or to spoil some details. You have to be very much open for that. Okay. So now save the same image. Okay. Done, save. The next thing we're gonna do is for another picture. Let's take another one. Take another one. This is also a little blurred picture, so we cannot do anything, but we'll try to recover this picture as well, like with a little bit of sharpening tool. So what this picture says is that the picture says like the picture is blurred. You can see her face is completely blurred. So how can you remove the blurriness on the picture? Actually you can't, but what you can do is like you have some tools over here. When you come to this tool, this is called blur tool. So it makes the picture even more blurred. But there is another tool called sharpen tool. Okay, what the sharpen tool does is like to see the change you need to close your eyes. Can you guys close your eyes?
Okay.
Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Everyone closing? Okay. Now let me just put some sharpening on our face a little bit. Oh, it's too much of sharpening. Let me decrease the strength of the sharpening. You can also decrease the strength of the sharpening, which I will show you how to do that once you open your eyes. Be very careful with the sharpening too. I'm still doing it. Okay. Now we can open the eyes and see. So this is how it was looking. Is it sharpened? Is it sharp or not? Think about the difference. Look like this and look right now. Sharpen.
Looks like it.
See the difference? Okay. So even though it is fully spoiled, we can bring back the details. Little but not too much. Okay. So if you go inside, you can see that what I have done real damage to this picture. You see that I've done, this is a discoloration. Do you see the discoloration here in this area? Okay, the sharpening comes with the disadvantage, that is that. But actually, it made the picture really look good. Okay. Let's see, this is the next picture. So this is the next picture. Even this is losing some details. Okay. So let's just put it on Photoshop. See what you can do with this. Okay. So you can see that the sharpened places, the branches, even her body, some part of her body is sharp, but not really her face. So the same thing. I'll show you what I've done. Okay. So I took the sharpen tool. I adjusted the strength over here. More strength. You see the difference? More strength. Okay, so always keep it at 25 so that you can change it later. Okay, so what I do is like gently click on locations. Okay, now it's kind of sharp, but it's also a bit of dark and as well. So I think this is fun. It's a bit sharp picture, isn't it? So what it has made the picture look very dull something. So you use this quick selection tool, okay, and then lighten it up a little bit. Okay. And give some contrast to add some more colors and stuff. You can even add vibrance, exposure. This is vibrance basically. Okay, just to hide that thing that we have done something on that. So just a little bit of color and vibrance. Okay, it's not good looking good. I think this is fine. The brightness is near. Okay, this is fine. I mean, this is not editable, but this is what the maximum you can do in terms of these pictures. Okay, what you can do is like if you find it too sharpened, you can also put some blurriness on that. Okay, using the blur tool, it will smoothen the picture out. You see that now you see some kind of a difference between that blurriness. So blurriness strength is 100%. You can also reduce it to like 40% and do that also. Okay, so these are some things you can do. And then what is smudge tool? Smudge tool is to make something happen. Now you see that. they say don't mess it with that stuff, right? So this is what the blurry smudge tool is all about. Smudge tool messes it up. Like you have a little bit of color, you want to expand it a bit, you can do that. Okay, we use it for a different reason altogether, but I'll tell you when it comes to that. Okay, but this is the maximum you can do with this picture, or something else you can do. Okay, so that picture is done. And then this picture. It's not good. This is fine. Remember, these are JPEG files, so we cannot expect full clarity on these files. Okay, these are like out of focus images. See, you can see that basically the focus is on the background, the foreground is not on focus. This is a real challenge for editing people to get into. Okay, so you have to be very careful about this picture. So just edit this picture. Let's see. It happens a lot of times to anyone, so don't blame yourself if you get out of this kind of a blurry picture, because it happens to me. That means it happens to anyone. Okay, because we don't notice everything at the point of time, everything is right or not, and especially people don't like the normal picture. They like all these blurry pictures only for some crazy reason. So we're doing the same thing in this picture. The problem is like a lot of discoloration. You see that purple tint? It's not here much, right? It's here right now. So a little bit carefully you would. Okay, that's it. I think it's more or less okay now. So what you can do is like a little bit blur it up on top of it. And also you can do one more thing. What you can do is like make the background to be more blurry. Like what you can do is first select a okay. Select it now. Almost done. Okay, so we've selected need more patience for this. Okay, I've selected that person completely. So what you can do is like after selecting her, you can put her on a different layer. Okay, so cut with the different layer. Okay, we go to layer. She is on this layer. On this layer is without her. So for example, to see this layer, you need to disable it. This is how it is. That layer. Okay, and this is the actual layer where she is right now. Do you understand? Little bit of editing needs to be done. You have to be much more careful. Yeah, sure. Like see this area. Okay, so this area is one area, and you can just right click again, do the same thing. Then disable this and see what else you have selected. See this area. So likewise you can check it out, which is the difference and where you need to modify. See here, there's a cut over here or here. Okay, which makes it really not really good. So, oops. Okay, this is one place and then okay. So this should be outside. Need so much patience for this. So this area. Yeah? So these are the things. Now right click, layer cut, and shake it out. Okay, this seems to be fine, not that horrible. Okay, then what you do is select this area, unlock this area, and then only see this area. Okay, now what you're gonna do is like you're gonna apply a kind of a blur. It's called tilt blur. Okay, it's in blur gallery. It's called tilt shift. Okay, so basically what you're doing here is like the amount of blurriness, how bad you want the blurriness to be. Okay, also you can change the shift also. Okay, something like this, and you can reduce the size of this one. You can increase the size of this one. Right? Okay. Once you do that, you can just okay, and then you can blur the other areas. How bad you want to blur this? Yeah.
But this will give you as effects to the photography. I mean,
When you click the picture,
yeah.
no, because the subject is closer to the background, so you cannot do that. The subject should be far from the background.
Correct, but this what editing we are doing is a normal photograph, right? I mean, normal Photoshop. It has nothing to do with the Photoshop for photography.
Yeah.
It is normal Photoshop, right?
It's a normal Photoshop. You see that I'm making it wider, the blurry path and all those things. Make it much. It's almost close to it. Okay. So like this you have done, right? You can select another path and you can give that path, because I feel like this path is much closer. Whichever makes sense, okay. Not that you should do it here or there, because it's already there here, one. Okay, I'm creating another one over here. Now, just give OK. It will apply the changes. Now it is blurred, so you can just turn on all. Okay. You can also do one thing, like you can make the complete thing blurry as well. Okay. Go to blurry gallery. Okay, you can go to filter, blur gallery, tilt shift, and then what you can do is like that space is there, right? You can reduce the space also. You can make this way, okay? Start blurring from this angle. You got it? So see the way I blur it? It's like completely blurred off. And then you can create bokeh effects, color those bouquets, whatever is there, color them up. Okay. You can make the circle, see the colors coming out. Okay, so like this you can make it a completely blurred picture and then put her on middle of it. As she's in a different layer, we're applying this blurring on a different layer, so both are not contacted. So she will be not blurred, but the background will be blurred. Okay. But normally we give this kind of a reference to know what is becoming, and we won't like blur it like completely. Okay, just showing you how it works like. It looks like she was not part of this picture, correct? This is because of that kind of effect. We have created that effect that completely changes. Okay. But to make it really nice and smooth, what we do is basically little bit of blurriness, not too much. Are we clear? Okay. So we take the same tool again. You can just put it however you want. I've said you the way. So you can put complete blurriness or a little bit of it.
Can I go off the fan for some time?
Yeah, sure. See now this sounds okay, right? It's not that bad, isn't it? So just make it lesser also.
Can I have some water?
Sure, it's for you.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so this is a decent one. It's not like we have completely blurred everything, but it is decent for this one. But you use this blurry effect when you have a huge area and the person is very small and you have a huge area, then you can use it. It will be much nicer if you use it on that kind of scenario. But she is more into this picture, right? So basically we use this kind of a blurry effect. So you can see that from the bottom to the top it's all blurred. Any questions?
Do you have any special edition photography editing tool? Or you normally use?
No, this is the one. Photoshop is the one. Special edition in the sense?
Is there anything specific that is used to editing photography? This is for a general editing purpose, right? Is there any specific tool for editing with respect to photography? Is there anything called photography editing or special tools for that?
Photoshop.
That's all.
Yeah. What else you are expecting? There's nothing special.
For example, there is Coral Draw, there is InDesign.
That Coral Draw is basically for editing and as well as like you're creating some objects. It's basically for both the things. And Photoshop is basically for editing a picture. You can also create stuff in Photoshop, but Coral Draw is more for that creation of new objects. So likewise. Okay, let's see. Let's this one more picture. Okay, this seems to be a challenge now. We'll go to this picture where she's sitting. Okay, this one. So what I want to edit in this picture. So what I want to edit this picture is, first thing is this chair should be gone. This chair should be gone. Okay. Or give a different color to the chair. Okay. This is the first thing. Let's try to do that. Let's first erase an object. We can erase an object very easily. We have this magic erase tool. But the problem with the magic erase tool is that it erases something with the same color in the entire picture. Now you look at it, I'm pointing the magic eraser tool on this color. So first I can hold Alt and then I take the color over here. Okay, this is the color. So I'm just going to erase this color. Yeah, you see that the similar object gets erased. You see that this is also something similar according to it, so it also gets erased. So we have to be pretty careful with this magic erase tool, but it is very useful in terms of removing similar colors. So if you see this one, it's all similar colors, so it just removed it without any problem. Right? You see that? There's no problem. Her body is not cut in anywhere except for here, which I think we can use this tool for that. This tool is so useful that it spots the color and reduces it. So I'm putting it on her hair. Okay, see that? Reduced all those stuff which has the same color. Okay, so you have to be pretty careful with this tool. It's a nice tool actually. Nothing to be scared about. But let's take green for example. So you can either remove this thing and replace it with something else. For replacing, I use a clone stamping tool. So I just go over here and just take a big example from here. This is like, it's basically you need to first look at the area where it needs to take the sample, like for example in this case this one, and then replace it over here. Okay. You need so much of patience because you need to identically do this. You see the ident? It's gone now, completely. You see that? See that? Doesn't look like that. So if you see this kind of a hurt, what you do is like go to blur tool. Blur this area. You won't see it when you keep seeing it, right? You won't see the difference. It will be what is blurring, nothing is blurring, right? So let me just complete the blurring stuff and then you will see the difference. Okay. So previously it was like this, now it was like this. So much happening on this layer now. Increase the blurriness. So likewise you can do it. Okay, this is one method of editing the picture. Okay, removing the share completely. The second method of removing the share completely is changing the color of it. So we go to the quick selection tool. We select the shares wherever the share is. We remove the empty objects. Okay. Okay, we just select only the chair, nothing else. Okay, so we go to this leg of the chair. Okay, now what we're gonna do right now is like change the color of it. Okay, as we've selected it, we can increase the brightness, decrease the brightness. So when I decrease the brightness, it becomes a shadow. Okay, increase the contrast, decrease the contrast, and then make it give some unnatural colors to it. Changing the whole body. It's not affecting on. It's not affecting on the stool. You just have to go back to the quick selection, and then. Got it? So basically, I'm selecting only that specific color. Give different colors to it. Make it fancy. questions? And make it light. Are we good with this? How to change the color? So you can use this for different effect. Okay, so let me just sharpen her face. A little bit sharpening. It's done. Is it happening or not? It's happening now for sure. So that? How sharpen it is? See here. Before and after. Okay. Correct our face with the tool. Healing brush. These are JPEGs, so this is how we can be. If I edit the same file and draw, it will give me more details. When I zoom into JPEG, right, it loses the clarity of the picture. Okay, no matter you take a sharp picture or not, the JPEG is a smaller version of a picture, which means like the same resolution, but the pixel densities are very less. Okay, so when you expand it, it starts to break, and then what you see is a blurry image or broken image. Could be anything. Okay, so that's what it is. That's what you're seeing right now. So this scars on the legs is also there, so we have to fix that as well.
What is the difference between JPEG and the PNG?
Huh?
PNG?
PNG is more high quality JPEG. So just fix the leg scars and then blur it off. If you don't have patience, what you can do is you can select the quick selection tool, select the leg part, and then go to filter, blur, smart blur. That's it. So you can see it's blurred off. Okay. So this basically smoothens the legs part. That's it. Okay. Save the picture. Okay. Go to the next picture and zone this with this one. Okay. So this picture doesn't. Let's first see how the clarity of the face is. The face is okayish, but still blurry because right? It's a JPEG. Okay. So first thing is that I want to put some clarity on her face. Go to the sharpen tool. Okay, enough clarity. Then go to healing brush. Heal all the spots. Spot the healing brush. Spots. Okay, spots are done. Here's something is there. So increase it and then spot clean it. Done. Right? So hands are clean now. Legs are clean as well. Okay, let's do a thing. Let's quick select this particular legs, hands, this hand, next. Face I don't want to touch because it's already blurred. Okay, so filter, surface blur. That's it. So we get the smooth legs, hands and stuff. Yeah? It's over. See the changes done. So you can increase the brightness, decrease the brightness if you want it to be, but I think it's fine. So some pictures I wanted to be in the cool color. This is called the cool color. I'll tell you how I got to this color. With all these files. Okay, so again this is a little blurred picture, so let me just sharpen it first. Doing magic. Okay, it's sharpen enough. Let's leave some marks, so we have to little bit blur it off the marks. Okay, and then just put the healing brush in our spots. Okay, I think this is fine. And then use the quick selection tool to select neck and remove all the extra space. Legs, leave extra space, and then surface blur. This makes it all fine. I love tuning the no. So it's not a great picture, but anyways, this is what we can do to save the picture. The maximum we can do. Okay, let's see how to edit a raw file. So if you have a raw file, what you're gonna do is like you open the same picture here in the Photoshop and you will see completely different stuff. So this is called the camera raw file manager in Photoshop. Okay, now look at the clarity in this picture. You see the clarity? Yeah. See that it's 300% zoom, but still you get the clarity on the picture. There's a difference between RAW file and JPEG file. So if you go 100%, 100% is what normally people see. Okay, so we are 100%. You see the clarity, right? So this is what people normally see in 100%.
So how do you say as a RAW file then? I mean, it is as is file. Are you going to say?
This is NEF file. NEF file is RAW file. Each camera creates camera creates in a different name. Nikon camera creates in a different name called NEF file. For Canon, it creates in CF0, C20, C2E file, something. I forgot the name of it. But that's what it is.
What is from where is the output comes? I mean, whatever you're saying is raw file. From where is the output?
Output means?
I mean, have you taken it from? I mean, from camera? Have you saved it from camera or?
Yeah, you should turn on the raw file mode.
Okay.
Without that, you cannot take the raw file from
camera. So you
camera.
have to put the raw file mode on in the camera?
Yes. I don't know whether it's there for you, but it should be there because even for the older camera, it should be there. So this is the raw file mode. So you get as a raw file. So raw files, how do you know it's a raw file? It will be big file.
It will be
big in size. Okay. One of the reasons, and also you can see the extension of the file. So it will not be JPEG or PNG or GIF or any other extension. It will be a weird extension and you'll not be able to open on your desktop. The only thing which opens up is your Photoshop and Lightroom. These are the two tools which opens up this raw file.
Okay, but it does not come as a .raw, is it? Or it will
raw file is a native formatted file. Okay, it doesn't have .raw or any extension. It could be any extension. That's what I'm telling you. RAW will not be the extension. It is the name of it. It says like a raw file. Raw file is like a concept, but not an extension. Extension would be based on the camera you're using. For Sony cameras, it will have different extension. For Nikon, different. For Canon, different. So like that. So you see that all these modified configurations are there, right? These are modified configurations already, which is in the XMP file. So basically, XMP file, which is created by Photoshop, will hold all the configuration which you've done in the last time. Even the snapshot information will also be consisted in this particular XMP file. What is snapshot? Snapshot basically like you like one selection of that particular stuff. You wanna store it, okay, and restore in case if you mess it up. Okay, that's called snapshot. Okay, after taking this kind of a level, like I'm changing when you're using any wildlife photography or any editing some skies and stuff like that, right? You will get to a level where, oh, this is nice, and then you will start thinking, okay, this is not what I'm here for, right? And then go to quickly snapshot, take a new snapshot of that. Okay, say like when you're giving snapshot, when you're taking snapshot, you can basically tell a name. Okay, before you can say like alien skies, like what I did. This is the snapshot I took. I was editing something, and then this alien kind of sky came into existence. I don't want to scrap it, but I want to store it as a snapshot. So I just put it, I just store it like this in the name. So after editing the picture, after we uploaded, then I came back to the same file, loaded this alien sky snapshot, and whatever I left over was there. And then I opened the image, and then I edited that, and I uploaded again the new picture. So this is the use of snapshot. Clear? Okay, any questions? No?
This you open, I mean, how did you open? What is the difference? I mean, it is opening the raw file what you open. You just open it in the Photoshop it, right? And it opens this way. And other files, that JPEG files, open it another form.
That's what I said you. Whatever it is over here is called camera raw tool. Okay, this is camera raw tool. This gets open when you open a raw file. Okay, if not for any other file. If not for any other file, will open inside. But only the raw file will get open like this because of several reasons which I will tell you. Okay. So you have the basic functionality of selection, color selections, and other tools over here, which we will talk later. Normally we don't use any of this tool because these tools are available inside this. Okay, so we normally use these parameters over here on the right side. The first thing is like this is a histogram. It is divided into many things. First is like the whites, highlights, exposure, shadows, and blacks. Okay. So these are the ones which is divided. So blacks on the left side and whites on the right side. This is called histogram. Okay, you can move this picture to anything. So if I'm gonna give less exposure, you can see that my histogram is tended towards the left side. When I put high exposure, you can see that it's gone to the right side. Yeah, sure. Okay, so you can see both the sides. So histogram works on both the sides. Clear? So you can put it on any side whichever you like. Okay, so once that is done, you can also hold Alt. So when you hold Alt, right, you will see the exposure. You see the negative side of this. You see that. When you leave Alt, you can see that. Where is the actual white is? Okay, if I'm gonna do this, like all the bright side is gonna be there. So I will make sure that there is nothing bright. Okay, I'm just reducing the amount of brights. You see that this is the best picture available, but it's not exposed on both the sides. Okay, so you can see that the picture is nice and clear, and also you can also increase and decrease the contrast however you want it. You can see that changes. You see the changes, contrast changes. But I would recommend you not to push beyond 60%. Okay, if you start pushing everything beyond 60%, I'm sorry, I didn't sleep very well. So what happens when you push something beyond 60% is because the photo starts to spoil because it's all computer generated. So normally we don't push it beyond 60%. Okay, we always maintain at 60 because there is one more value you can modify. Okay, say for example, highlights. If your picture is so like blown away, this is how you take the picture. Okay, now you wanna if you see negative, when you hold alt right, you see that this much of highlight and whites are there. Highlights is the red color, whites is the white color. Okay, so basically you go to highlights first, reduce the highlight. Okay, so you can see that I'm reducing the highlight. I'm going to whites, reducing the whites. Now see the picture. What has happened to the picture? You see the grains? This is what happens when you go beyond 60%. You see the grain get disappeared. This grains over here, it's disappeared when you go. When you go like this. Okay. See the grains are getting disappeared because you are pushing a variable beyond a certain limit. Okay, that's when the grains itself show up. Okay, because your software is trying to expand the pixels. It tries to expand more light in the pixel. Then what happens? It breaks, and each pixel starts to generate dots, white dots. Instead of giving actual whites, it generates white dots. White dots is basically called noise, and it happens every time you try to increase the ISO. ISO is basically the culprit for this entire thing, because ISO, when you expand the ISO, right, basically what it does is like it gives more light to each pixel to expand it. If you see 12 megapixel camera will have a bigger pixels. When you put 12 megapixel on a full frame camera, right, it occupies, each pixel will be like huge in size. You understand? Because it is just 12 megapixel. But when you put the same full frame in 46 megapixel, okay, 46 megapixel, think about it. Okay, how many millions of pixels will be there? So that full frame is occupied with all the pixels. So the pixel size will be smaller. When it tries to expand the pixel size, it will not be able to, because the pixel size can be expanded to a level. Okay, because there are so many other pixels are there. So when you try to expand the pixel, then obviously you will get dots. But if you compare with the 12 megapixel, okay, camera, and you try to expand it, you will get more space, because pixel occupies more space. Then the density of the pixel is very less, which means each pixel will have like enough space for it to expand as well. So this way, you can accommodate more ISO. You can go to higher level of ISOs when you have enough space for the pixel. Do you understand? So this is why a smaller megapixel camera can hold larger details than the higher megapixel of the camera. So ISO works best. So if you see, there is a camera in the market called Sony A7S. Okay, so that is this thing, 12 megapixel camera. But if you see the pixel, the pictures, right? It is very good. It's best for the nightlife photography. It's like you won't see it, it's nighttime. You see it is basically daytime only. So basically it's because of the ISO. Just wait for them 2 minutes.
This is your house, and are you staying here? You stay here, right? Then I stay nearby.
Where?
Puro.
Oh, okay. Where is it?
Spice Garden.
Spice Garden.
Martha Lee flyover, right?
Oh,
You get
on
down
the
the
left
left side.
side. Oh, yeah, right. The big apartments. Okay. Okay. So I was talking about the ISO over here. Okay. ISO is generated in your camera. It's in your camera itself. It is nowhere else to be found. Okay. So what is happening in Photoshop is basically the ISO thingy. Okay. So what is happening in your camera in ISO is basically happens in Photoshop as well. Okay. You can either increase the ISO in Photoshop or you can do it in the camera itself. When you do it in the camera itself, we normally recommend you to do it in the camera itself. Why? Because we want you to see the output of it. Okay. When you take the picture, you want to see what is the output of it, right? So you just increase it in the camera. Or else you can come over here and decrease the blacks by this. Okay. Increase the whites. Okay. Decrease the shadows. Increase the highlights. So what you get is basically overexposed picture. Okay. This happens when you have the ISO. Correct? Okay. So this is something which we do in Photoshop. Are we clear with this first one? This is the settings actually. This is the very important setting: exposure, contrast, exposure and contrast, and then highlights and whites and blacks and shadows. The entire thing contributes to the picture, how the picture is going to look like. Okay. And then you have the temperature, like the white balance. If you remember, we configured white balance in the camera as well, but you don't have to do it when you have a raw file. When you have a raw file, you can configure the white balance or whatever is in the camera. You saw that? Basically, all those things which you can configure in the camera, you can configure. Even you can configure the individual properties of it as well. Okay, so it's all completely possible in the raw mode. And then here, clarity. Now clarity is very important as to, like, you can make this picture like a, you see that this picture?
Blur, brightness.
Yeah, you see this picture? What is the difference between that and this?
This is blur.
It's not a blur, but then it is like very less clarity. I mean, there is no clarity at all in this picture, which means like it gives you like the godly effect.
Okay.
You see the godly effect on the picture. Okay, but on the other hand, you see the rough and tough look, right? Like the, you know, the other end of it. Okay, you see there is some scars on the windows also. Okay, so likewise you can just tune it however you like it. Some people like it on the right side, some people like it on the left side. Depends on you completely. Vibrance gets you more color. This is like black and white. Okay, and this is like more of a color. Okay, saturation is again more of a color on a specific color. So if you see the difference between vibrance and this one is like, you see this color of her lipstick. Okay, you see the saturation, it saturates the color and makes it like even brighter. Each and every color gets even brighter. But vibrance is not like that. So saturation I will not go beyond 8. But vibrance I can go till 80 because it doesn't saturate the lipstick. Do you see that? Basically what it does is makes it more nicer, more appealing. You see that? Right? So but when you talk about saturation, right, you see that how it is. See, both the lips are merging because of the saturation. Okay, so that's the difference between saturation and vibrance. Okay, so this is the first thing in the basic. Second one is like the tonal curve. Tone curve can be point or parametric. So this is the second place you can modify the lights and the darkness. Okay, as I said, we won't go beyond 60% of each of those variables, right? Where here also the same thing. Okay, so here what is happening is like, now I have this picture, right? So the tone curve saves the same thing as your this thing, histogram. Okay, so what you can do is like, you can pull a specific object down or up. Okay, point gets you to control it manually, where you can control the thing manually, so you can see that. I can go to any point and then decrease or increase it. You see that? It's nice. Yeah. If you have time, you have so much option to do. What you can do is that you can separate her from the background separately in two different files, Photoshop files, and then you can open both of them in the tone curve. One you can do something like this. You see that? The background will be in this color, and foreground you can merge her. She will not be in this color. Do you understand? There's so many things you can do in terms of this specific instrument, tone curve. Okay, you can see how it is going around. See that? Okay, these are the effects you can create. But you want to create effects based on the parametric is basically modifying the values. So you have highlights, lights, darks and shadows. You can make more dark, more light over here, more darkness, likewise. Okay, hold Alt and you will get the reset option. Okay, this is the reset. This is the value which was originally set in my XMP file. Okay, XMP file, this is this file. Okay, clear? This is the XMP file. This holds all the values for this particular file. So basically you can go back to the values over there. Okay, next is sharpening. So you want to sharpen a picture. So you feel like, oh, picture is blurred. So what do? Increase the sharpness. Is it sharpened? Now what comes with sharpness is, what is this called?
White.
What is this white color called?
Pigment?
No, it was not there before. It was like this before. The more I increase the sharpness, and it comes also with the sharpness. What is that called? It's called noise.
Sorry?
Noise.
Okay.
So what I do is like I use noise reduction NR. See that? But some part is not going off. Correct? I'm using 100% of noise reduction. But what happens in noise reduction? You get like really smooth face. You see that? You see that over here? Something is happening, right? So this is because of 100%. Now it was not here before. So this happens when you do unnatural stuff. Clear? So always you need to increase it to a level where you can, subsequently increase it and reduce it. So if I put the sharpening over here, I have to put the noise reduction double the time. Okay, so you get the natural stuff. Okay, but it is very good that if you can take a nice picture in the beginning itself rather than modifying it. But this saves your ass. Okay, in case of emergency, like all those pictures I edited before, those are like screwed up pictures. Okay, I searched for the screwed up pictures because I want to show you how to edit those pictures. And then still we were able to edit to a level where we can, recover from that scenario. But those are JPEGs, and I want it to be like that so that I can just show it to you. Okay, when you go for a photo shoot, or if you take 100 pictures, for sure in the beginning 80 pictures will be screwed up. And then the more you're gonna, come with that, then 2-3 pictures will be screwed up. Okay. The more you do it, the lesser the screw up it becomes. Okay. So you see her face is having a different color than her body. Do you agree? Okay. That also can be modified in the post-editing process. Okay. What you can do is like for that you have to go to the next step. But do you understand the sharpening and noise reduction? Okay. So noise reduction, we normally use it without sharpening when you take a nighttime photography. And when you take nighttime photography or something like that, you have to use a higher ISO setting. So that time we will get greater noises. So to reduce it, we use the noise reduction here. Now this is where we're going to talk about HSL, which is hue saturation and luminance, and or grayscale. So you can completely change the picture to grayscale by clicking convert to grayscale, where it will become black and white picture. Some people like black and white picture, some people don't. Okay. So what is this actually? HSL is basically like concentrating on a specific objects and increasing the spice on a specific color. Like for example, you see any reds here in this picture? So this red is going to modify only the red. See that? Only the red is getting modified. Yeah? This is because I'm modifying only the reds in the picture. Okay, I can make it light or I can make it more bright. So oranges. You see oranges in this picture? So it's to modify the oranges. But at the same time, red is not getting modified. Do you notice that? Red is still red. Okay. You can also change the values over here. If you're not sure what's the value, you can come over here and give 0. And then this is for the face. Right? And then greens, if there are any greens in the picture. There's no. Okay, so what she's wearing? She's wearing a black color. So we have to search for somewhere where there is black color. See, there's some black colors over here, so we can just check it out. This is red again. Okay, so likewise you can change each of these colors. Oh, nail paint. Let's see which color it is on. It's on something like a red only, I think.
Can you not select that and get to know what color is there? Can you not select in the picture?
See,
Yeah.
you can use this too. Basically adjust this to the color. Okay, basically adjust the specific thing to the color. So this one is sampling too. So it will check the sampling, what color it is. Okay. So likewise. So this is the split toning tool where you can just change the highlight colors. Whatever the colors which is highlighted. Okay. Highlighted colors can be changed in terms of the shadows and the highlights. So basically it's for that. You normally don't use this. And then next is lens correction tool. Lens correction is basically correcting the chromatic aberrations. Okay, so you have to select enable profile, enable this one. But this lens doesn't have chromatic aberration or distortion. Okay, this particular lens is 2470. Now you see the moment you select it, there will be a change in the picture, but you don't get it. Okay, because it means like it doesn't have much of chromatic aberration. But there are lenses which has so much. The example Nikon 1855 has huge lens correction. So all the lenses Nikon brands is over here. Okay. For Canon, if you open this in Canon, here it will be Canon that model number, and then the Canon lenses would come over here. Okay. See this one, 1855. I'm selecting 1855, and it will enable that kind of chromatic aberration for 1855. Okay. So that's the basic lens correction automatically. If you go for manual, this is called distortion. Okay, so what happens is like sometimes the lens takes picture and it takes in the same native way how the lens is designed. For example, the fisheye lenses, you can see the way it takes the picture. It looks like an eye, it looks like a round object. So we come over here in the distortion and then make it straight. If you see, it will be like this, the picture, when you take it with fisheye lenses. And then you come here and make it straight. Sometimes you have to make it straight like this. Okay, you might have to compromise the sides of the picture to get the straight picture. Clear? So this is 0 first because there is no distortion for this one. And then purple hues. Sometimes you will get a purple colored stuff on the face or something. So we come here to purple hues and reduce the color from there. Okay, it becomes because of ISO settings. The next one is like FX, special effects. You have the dehaze special effect and the other side of it. You see that? So, special effects. Grains is basically the film grains. So if you see in older pictures, you will have film grains, right? So like that. So you can add some grains to make it nice. You see the grains? Yeah? Like reduced grains, no grains. You can also make the size of the grains more higher, lower size, roughness of the grains. Okay. This is called vignetting. Vignetting is basically for covering up your picture, highlighting more on the center point of it. Okay. So you can see that the vignetting amount is like this previously. Okay. So you can make it more also. You see that round subject. You can also make it from round to, this is the roundness. You can make it square. See. You make it to different shapes. Okay. So likewise. You can also make the feathers to disappear. You see that feathers? There's no feathers now. Feathers. Yeah, this is vignetting. Okay. So you can also make white color feathers or black color. It's up to you. Also you can put a highlight priority, paint overlay, and the color priority. Okay, so these are 3 methods you can do. I think this one is pretty nice, so I'll use this one. Right? And after that you have the camera calibration. This is called picture control, picture quality in your camera. It's also configured in your camera when you take JPEG images. In JPEG images you won't find all these things loaded, okay, because it only happens in RAW file. So that's why for JPEG images we just put it inside the camera itself, all these things. Normally we keep it at vivid, camera vivid, because it gives you nice vivid picture. You see the vivid picture? See how vivid it is? So if you go for landscape, you will get a different sort of picture. You go for neutral, you get a different color. Okay. Some people like to click it on neutral and come over here and modify it. Okay. You can modify it by 3 primary colors, which is red, green, and blue. You can increase and decrease red, green, and blue color in the people's in the picture. Any questions? No? So this is what it is, how to edit the picture and then open the image to open in the Photoshop. Okay.
Now you open that in the Photoshop, is it?
Yeah, it will open and it was previously also in the Photoshop only, but it's in the camera raw too.
That's
So after that, once you open it, it opens in the Photoshop.
But is there any quality difference that you open in the camera mode or?
No, there is no quality and all. It's just that you will have see that extra options of vignetting and all those things will come in the camera raw mode. Basically after that, for editing you have to come here only. There is no way of editing without Photoshop. So basically that's what it is. So it's basically a part of Photoshop tool only. But okay, so basically this is what it is. You can also put some colors using the paintbrush. So you just select the color. Got it? Basically color everything up. I think I took a bit of a leg off. It's like this only from before, yeah. Yeah, got it? Any questions? Are we happy about Photoshop? So this is the editing which you do in Photoshop. The next tool is Lightroom. Lightroom is a bulk editing tool. Lightroom is really faster in terms of Photoshop. Okay, so you can select one single object. You can just select all, and then you can export all these things. You can personally import specific files or group of files. Okay, what it does is like basically auto tuning. So you can click on auto tuning, which means everything will be auto tuned or you can click on a specific picture where it highlights this picture, and then go to develop mode. Develop mode means extra features will be there, just like how you have Photoshop, right?
Right, nice.
So like that you will have all these menu, like this is for sharpening, right? Noise reduction, so everything will be there over here.
What are the specific cases then where you would prefer to use this tool over Photoshop or vice versa?
Editing, if you don't wanna waste time editing every picture, then you can come over here. See, I've configured this changes to this picture, correct? See, we just done some little bit of changes to this picture.
Okay, you
Made the
applied this
picture
to
blue.
all the
To
selected
one picture.
Yeah.
I applied to one picture. Okay, so
Mm.
now I made it like a little bit yellow, no, bluish. Okay, and then I go to library, and then what I do is like click on this picture. You can see that my selection is over here, and everything else is selected as well, right? I'll go click sync settings, and then I click synchronize, and all the pictures will get the same setting.
Okay.
Clear? So this is what happens in terms of this Lightroom. Okay, so basically you take a setting and you put it up everywhere. Okay, and then click on export. It will all the folders will be exported to this location, whatever you're giving the location as. So you can see over here, it's like same folder as the original photo, and then you can see the location of this file, the file name, and you can also see the quality. You can make it like 2:1 quality, which means like it will create the lowest possible file size. 100 is like maximum quality file size, and you can see the resolution. You can resize the particular picture in a specific resolution, but normally don't do that because it becomes a bit of a problem. And then sharpening pictures for a specific standard stuff. Okay, and the watermarks. So this I've also have one video on how to create watermarks. So basically, you can refer that video to create your own watermarks and load it here in the Photoshop in the Lightroom. For loading it here, basically you go to edit watermarks, and basically here you have to select how your watermark, where your watermarks is going to come. You first load the file and then put it accordingly. Okay, so you can see that how big the watermark would be. You want it to be on center, here you have center, left side, right side. Okay, you can also increase this, the where it needs to be staying and all those things. Okay, and you can see the proportion. You can make it big, small, whatever size. So here is the export button. The moment you click on export button, it start exporting. It will be like this. After this, selected, export. It will be like this. It will have the signature over here, and then the picture will be over here. The signature is right there. Yeah. So this is how editing is done. And let me just stop the video.